Joe DeSalvo here, and the first video of the year only means one thing. The 2019 college fantasy football season is right around the corner. Our 2019 preseason fantasy guide and all other exclusive content are available right now on the website, but if you click this link, that only means one thing. You are looking for details on our 2019 3-in-1 Super Fantasy League. So you've come to the right place. We're going to tell you what it is, how we're going to run it, and how and who's eligible to sign up for this. So let's get right into the nuts and bolts. If you played in our 2018 Total Points Fantasy League, then this screen looks familiar to you. Over on the left are the standings. That was our champion last year, Swarm 18. He finished first atop the standings in our 2018 Total Points Fantasy League. But for those that have not played before and want to get in, this is how the setup goes. When you look over to the right, those are the roster requirements on a week-to-week basis. Your roster is going to consist of 5 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 5 wide receiver tight ends, and 3 flex positions. Those flexes are going to consist of running back, wide receiver, and tight end. Now here's the catch: if you haven't played this league, you're not just going to be able to select the same quarterback week after week after week. When you select a player, you cannot use them again in any other week throughout the season. So it becomes a real challenge, guys, real strategic for some of you all to use different players week in and week out. But if you follow the CFF site and you follow our rankings, this shouldn't be a problem for you. But it will require strategy. You're going to have to map out some of those matchups along the way to see when you want to use player A, when do I want to use player B, and so on and so forth. So as you build those lineups every week throughout the regular season, you'll earn points. Those points go into your standings, the seasonal point total. The guy that scores the most points at the end of the season will be the total points champion for 2019. But this is a 3-in-1 Super Fantasy League, so we are expanding it this year, and let's talk about the ways in which we're expanding it. We are going tournament style format, guys, and let's look at the first format right here on the. We're going to track this using a spreadsheet. We're going to use the points based on the total points league in the season standings column, but we're going to use the standings to determine seedings in the tournament. Let's look at the first tournament, the 100 team head-to-head tournament. Let's see how it's set up, and let's see how we're going to play it out. So as you can see in the yellow line, you can see the weeks throughout the 2019 college football season are going to determine where the matchups are played out. So what we're going to do is over the first 2 weeks of the season, we are going to take the standings from our Total Points Fantasy League and seed all the teams 1 through 100. The teams seeded 1 through 16 will automatically get a bye into week 5. Teams seeded 17 through 32 in the standings after 2 weeks will get a bye into week 4. And then the teams that fit, the rest of the teams 33 through 100 will play in a head-to-head format. There's going to be 4 teams approximately in a head-to-head format. Highest team advances in week 3, and that tournament will play out. When we get into week 5, the matchups will be 2-week matchups, and like I said, we will just keep the scores from this Total Points Fantasy League and roll them into the tournament style format, and that will determine your scores for this head-to-head league that will play out over the course of 14 weeks of the college football season. And at the end of week 14, we will have a 100-team head-to-head tournament winner. So now we've gotten into the Total Points League. We've gotten into the 100-team head-to-head tournament league. It's a 3-in-1. Where's the third league, Joe? And here it is. It's another tournament format, except this tournament is really different, guys. It's a tournament of 2 halves of the season. So if you look over to the left, and you look at the weeks up there at the top, you've got week 1. The tournament on the left is going to be played out in weeks 1 through 6, and all it is a random draw. That's right. As soon as you sign up for the league, you're going to be randomly drawn into the tournament in a head-to-head format, played over the first 6 weeks of the season. The winner of that tournament will be the first half champion. Well, then the second half, starts all over, guys. So if you haven't had a good season up until that point, you're nowhere near the top of the total point standings, you haven't done well in either of the head-to-head tournaments up until that point, you have a chance to hit the restart button in the second half tournament. And this is how it's going to be determined. This is how the seeds are going to be determined. We're going to take after 6 weeks of the total points league standings right here, we are going to take the top 64 teams and seed them in a head-to-head style that'll play out from week 7 through week 12, single elimination format, and that will determine the second half tournament champion. We will take in weeks 13 and 14. It'll be a 2-week championship. We will play the first half champion against the second half champion, and the winner of that matchup will be deemed the 2 halves tournament champion. So we've got the 2 halves tournament. We've got the 100 team head-to-head tournament that will play out over the course of the year, and we've got the traditional total points league as we had last year. 3 leagues playing out at the same time over the course of the 2019 season. And you know what? The only thing, and the only reason why we haven't registered, I'll put a link to register for this league yet, is we're just trying to figure out how we should get everyone signed up. What we're really thinking about doing is getting having a $3 buy-in, and $1 from everyone that signs up goes into the pot for each league, and even have 3 winners, winner take all. Either have 3 winners, winner take all, or set up first and second for all 3 leagues and have 6 winners throughout the year. As soon as we get that set up, we're going to go ahead and get this link posted and get the league started, guys. So you're going to be hearing from me throughout the preseason, throughout the season. You're going to see me again. But once again, Joe DeSalvo, the voice of the College Fantasy Football Site, laying out the details for the College Fantasy Football Site's 3-in-1 Super Fantasy League for 2019. We'll talk to you soon, guys.